Alrighty. Good day, good morning, good evening to each and every one. This is YieldMax Mindset coming to you with portfolio review week 36. All right. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the like button. Thank you. All right. Share if it's useful. All right. And definitely continue to drop your comments in the comment section. Um, and I'll give you my opinion, I ain't gonna say advice. I give you my opinion because I am not a technical analysis guy. I don't do charts and stuff like that. I just invest and share what I do. All right, let's get to it. So, a Robinhood portfolio review is what we're going to do. We're going to hit our dividend review of our PowerPoint. We will hit some CNN and Bitcoin news. Well, not Bitcoin news, but we'll talk about the futures and what's going on in the market currently right now. We will touch on my Bitcoin portfolio or my crypto portfolio, and we will hit our Excel spreadsheet, our Charles Swap account, snowball analysis, and then we will conclude with Q&A. Review your questions that you've asked and the answers that I tried to provide. All right, first up, let's see here, get this out of the way. All right, so right now, as you can see, the market is up. We was here at 146, and you can see we have jumped to almost 50K. All right, and we'll talk about that in just a second. All right, live, we are currently down $370. For the day, you can see we're up $2,739. For the week, we're up $3,773. For the month, you can see this, we've gone up since April the 12th, because April the 9th was bad. All right, you can see that we're up $14,655. For the past 3 months, we're down $11,854. Year to date, we are down $8,350. For the past year, we're up $14,394. And all time, we are up $7,002. All right. Our buying power, I believe last week it was at 24,000. We did end up buying some PLTY and PLTR, which brought it down. But we've got our dividends this past week with Group D with Misty and brought it back up. All right. So you can see here our total available margin is at $73,845. Margin used is right now at $49,220. Our buffer is at 13.35% for $5,579. And our interest rate is at 5.75. If it gets above 50, then it should drop down to 5.55. And just for those that are using margin or interested in using margin or familiar with using margin, just remember that your first $1,000 of, if you have gold membership, is free, and you won't get charged any interest on the first $1,000 if you're using margin and if you have gold membership. All right, so we was talking about why this is up. Let's go. All right, let's see here. All right, it says US. Let's refresh it. Make sure we got the latest. I thought I said refresh. Okay. All right, so this is what's going on. US stock futures surge as market cheers US and China talks. So this gentleman, Bissett, said that they was making progress in their talks earlier today, and the crypto market I don't think the crypto market has responded too much, but the futures have. And so we can see here, let's refresh and see where we're at right now. All right, so it says the implied opening, which is for tomorrow for us, showing right now is in the positive 459. The Dow's at 458. So greed, you can see that has changed. It's more in the positive territory now. It was over here. All right. So tomorrow we could, or if you listening to this today, right now at noon or at the open at 8:30, you can see that it is implying that we're going to be positive today, but you never know. All right. So let's get back to our Robinhood portfolio. All right. So we're going to hit our two major positions, which is always Coney and Misty. So Coney is up 21. Oh, I forgot to tell you all the time. It's currently uh it's currently um Eastern time. It is currently 12:53 Central Standard Time, 11:53. All right. And so um Coney is up 21 cent in the aftermarket or the pre-market, so to speak. Um 770, right? So our market value is at $46,754. We're currently down just 30, I ain't gonna say just, but $32,575. Our average cost is at 1306, and we have 6,072 shares, and we have buying power of 17,589. All right. Misty is showing is up right now 55 cent. It's make a market recovery. As you know, it paid out dividends last week of $2.37, I believe. All right, so our market value is over $18,080. We are currently down 22.87. Average cost is at 27.12. We have 751 shares. Buying power is at 8,700, and this is why I haven't bought any in this count, because the margin, the maintenance ratio is at 70%. So of the 24,000, I only have 8,700 available to buy Misty with. So, and if so, we don't want to we don't want to use the whole 24,000 just to get some Misty. So this needs to come down, or we'll get it in our cash account. All right. All right. So let's show the dividend. All right. So you can see here 751 shares, $2.37, $1,782. Here we got Ulti showing 621 right now. Market value is at $2,484. We're down over $1,100. Average cost 912, 400 shares. All right. And our dividend made it night. Is that right? 400 shares, $11.81. No, 11.81 cent. All right, $47.24. All right, so this was up for Alti, because normally it's been either 8 or 9, so it jumped 2 pennies. And for those of you that have 45,000 shares of Alti, I'm sure y'all are loving it. Ain't too many people got it, but I did hear a couple people mention they had it. All right. So YieldMax is at 13.59. We have $679 in market value. We're down almost $100. Average cost is 15.59. 50 shares. We may buy some YieldMax since it's at 30. And just maybe add to it. Small position. All right. All right, so you can see here we had 50 shares. It paid out a nice 16.79. We've been waiting on that, Misty. All right, $8.40. All right, next we had AIYY. 462 is where it was at. We have a market value of $60.06. We're down $91 for an average cost of $11.68. It'd be nice to bring it down since it's at $4.60 something cent. 13 shares, 60%. So we're a little hesitant to add to it just because that's at 60%. If you do, we'll do it in a very small increment. All right. Our new positions that have been added to the family. Palantir. All right. So you can see that is at $120. All right. Our market values at $6,631, showing that we have a total return, or we're up $268.94 for the average cost of $115. And we know originally, before I accidentally sold out of position, we had an average cost of around $112, I believe. We was able to get back in. We do have 55 shares. And what we ended up doing, if it has it here. All right. So let's do show more so we can see all that I've done. So originally we got it at 25 shares on April the 28th at $112. May the 1st, we added to that position at 116. All right. And then yes, we bought, oh, I'm sorry. We sold the 25 shares. So let me correct that. All right, so we bought 25 on April the 28th. Accidentally sold those 25 shares at 116 for a profit. So that doesn't hurt that we sold it at a profit, but we would have loved to have kept this at 112. All right, so we got back in at 123, and either they paid a dividend or something in the market and it went down, and so we got back in we added additional 25 shares at 113, and we added some more at 107, 10 shares at 107. So that gives us the new average cost. New average cost of 115. All right. So that's good. So we do have 20K in buying power at 30% ratio here at 120. I don't want to average up, so I probably will leave this alone. That's my thinking. All right. The dividend portion of Palantir is called PLTY from YieldMax. You can see it's at $69.75. We got market value at $13,950. We're up $559, and we have an average cost of $66.96 for 200 shares. Ratio is at 25% for $24,625. Let's show you what I did here. Similar thing that happened with this. We got in at 63.28 for 235 shares, and we did the exact same thing. Accidentally sold out his position, so we made a little profit at 64.80, and we got back in at 66.96 at 200 shares, and we haven't added. It did come down to I think $61 after I did this, and we didn't buy any. All right, so we still at $66.96 for 200 shares. All right, the last one from Round Hill XPay is at $50 and 20 cents. Our market value is at $521.69. We're down $58. Average cost of $55.87, and we have 10.4 shares. All right. And it paid out on May the 8th. It reinvested. It was a small amount because we don't have too many shares. All right. So just to reinforce that and show you, all right, so our financial quote says, wealth consists of not having great possessions, but having few wants. And this is a tribute to, if I pronounce this correctly, Oedipus, a philosopher. He believed that true wealth is not measured by material possessions, but by the ability to be content with what one has, with what one has. He argues that desires often lead to dissatisfaction and that reducing one's want can lead to greater happiness and peace of mind. This perspective encourages focus on internal values and self-control rather than external acquisitions. All right. So here, just a brief cover of what we did this past week for Group D. All right. So I did have to make a few corrections. I did this tonight when I was realizing it. Uh, when I did so this generally is going to show you the number of shares I have and what I'm getting paid out. So I had 140 here, I believe, but I actually had some shares in Charles Schwab, and I didn't add it to this presentation when I present it. So you all are getting the updated version of that. So I had 155 shares for $218.98. All right. This is what I had with AIYY. All right. Same thing with Misty. I had it updated to 762 shares for an actual amount of $1,808.93. All right. YieldMax, I got 50 shares, $8.40. Ulti, I had to update it. I had 400. It should have been 403 for $47.59. XPay, I had to update it. It is $9.90. YBTC, nothing changed there for me because don't have enough shares to actually get an actual whole number. All right, that concludes that. All right, so next we have crypto. All right, let's refresh this. So crypto Bitcoin has made a recovery this past week. It's been gradually coming up, but I think it got up to 105, right? So you can see the greed, it was over here and it was all the way down to 3. So you can see here it's up, it's in a good territory. So you can see Bitcoin is at 103, Ethereum is at 2,500, and XRP is at 240. All right, so let's look at my position. All right, so this is my crypto account. I do have one, well, I have a couple that is not in this account. It's on another account, but in there I have I guess you can call it a meme coin called Vote Inu. Let's go back here. I have this token, Vote Inu. For those just sharing it with you. Some of you may know about it, some of you may not. But anyway, all right. So it's showing that my current value of my crypto tokens in this account is $42,116.63. You can see I have Chronos, Bitcoin, Pepe, Shiba, Ethereum, Crow with Knife, Neuron, Polygon, Looping, VVS. Okay, it's showing here. My Earn wallet, I got crypto at Earn. So, excuse me, 18,300. With all this is of the 42, right? But it's got it in certain areas where I'm doing certain things. This is earning crypto or Crow at like some is earning at 10%, some is at 15%, and some is at 20%. Airdrop, um, it gives you different tokens every month if you stake so much Crow. All right, on my crypto.com, I have a balance of 57.69. All right. And this is my actual Kronos or Crow account right here. All right. You can see right here, I have a total of 293,083.5 CRO. You can see here that I am total profit and loss is $183. Today, this account is up $6,100. All right. All right. So now let's do our Excel spreadsheet. All right. All right. So here's our active income. This is income that I'm getting from my employer. Let's move this over from my employer. So the last paycheck I got, this was $1,884.10. All right, so we got to pay Group D, which the main one being Misty. So last week, before we got paid this week, we was at $4,150.90. And with the positions that I showed you earlier, we're up to $6,239.03 for the month of May. All right, we have I think 2 weeks left in May. Is that correct? Because this was Group D, right? So we got Group A, and let me see. Hold on, let me move my phone here. See what the calendar. All right, so we actually have 3 weeks. So we want to have Group A for the 16th, and we're going to have Group B, which is going to be for the 23rd, and we're going to have Group C one more time, which will be twice for this month of May, for the 30th, May the 30th. All right. All right, so you can see my total active income is at $20,493.23. My total dividend for this year stands at $30,593.94. My combined income is at $51,087.17. My active income, I'm averaging just over $4,000. And also, this is not normal, what I would be bringing home. I've got my dependents change right now and maximizing the amount of money I can bring home. So towards the end of the year or the middle of the year, you're going to see this drastically change because I'm going to put that stuff back on so I can get my taxes paid. All right. My passive income, it states that I'm averaging just over $6,118.79. All right. So this consists of credit cards, loans, HELOCs, personal loans. This is my debt. This consists of all my debt other than gas, internet, cell phone bill, and food. All right. All right. So Robinhood Gold, I pay $5 a month. So right now we're currently still standing at $20. Robinhood interest is still, I think, did I check that? I think I did. So right now we're at $1,070.71. My average interest I'm averaging for the past did I get that? Yeah. This isn't saying 5, but it's supposed to be saying 5. Let's update that, right? All right. For the past 5 months, I'm averaging $214 in interest. Based on the amount that I have borrowed, as you can see now, is at 49, 220, 19. Last week it was at 51, 185, 62. My 401k loan is standing at 23, 846 that I borrowed and put it in my Robinhood account back in August or September of last year. We would do that again one more time. We'll probably put it in my Charles Schwab account instead of my Robinhood account. All right, so you can see my total debt for loans and HELOCs and credit cards is at $255,793.91. As I stated earlier, my Robinhood interest is at 5.75%. And you can see the interest at all these babies. Ooh-wee. And this is the interest I pay for each of those accounts year to date. and it totals $10,664.63, which is crazy. And so that is averaging $2,132 over 5 months, which is crazy, paying that much in interest. That's a mortgage. It's a mortgage. Oh my goodness. All right. So in my Robinhood account, I haven't made any deposits in the month of March and the month of April, and so far in the month of May, we haven't made any deposits, and we haven't made any withdrawals as well. You can see this is when we did make deposit, and this is when we did make a withdrawal. All right, so my Coney, my cost basis for Coney is at 79,300. We have made $33,470.38 in dividends, and we have $45,829.94 before we break even with our initial investment. And same thing here with Misty. We made $16,784.47. We are $3,574.14 away from breaking even, making true profit. All right. So that concludes our Excel spreadsheet. Next, we have our Charles swap account. All right. All right. So this is our Charles swap account that we deposit funds of a couple weeks ago, I think. All right. So we deposit $1,810, I believe. It's saying 04. But anyway, so for the past 2 weeks, so we got paid Coney and Kavana, I believe, 1 week, and Misty and Ulti this week. Anyway, these past 2 weeks we have dividends total $90.52. I believe that's correct. So in 2 weeks, this is what we made off $1,800. You can see here, this is our quantity for each position. This is a price that it currently stands at when the market closed on Friday. And this is what we paid, the price we paid for one share. And price change, percentage change, day change, 52 weeks low, 52-week high. This is the market value. This is what I paid for it. So yes, $1,804, and our value is up a little bit. As you can see, $48.36 for 2.6%. And so that consists of our other positions. All right, next, let's see here, snowball analysis. Oh, I wanted to show you all something. Hold on, I wanted to show you all this. Let's see here. All right, so YieldMax website. For those that are watching this channel maybe for the first time, or you watched this channel but you maybe didn't see this, this is YieldMax.com. So if you want to know, hey, if I invest 75,000 into this LFG, this is what I could potentially get weekly, potentially get monthly, potentially get annual. And this is when you click details here, it's based off the last stock price when it paid this dividend, right? So, and you can see these charts. This is distribution amount chart, and this is the closing price chart here. All right. If you click this here, it'll take you to the YieldMax website like this, where you can see that position, right? And you got your selected themes. So if you want to focus on the Magnificent Seven, you can select those and see how it changes, right? If you want to go to a particular fund, an issuer like YieldMax, you would just only have the YieldMax funds available. Round Hill, Pro Shares, Defiance. If you want to look at the underlying stock like Google, you could do that. and get its ETFs that are created by these funds. All right. So you can play around with this amount. You put $100 in there. You can go to advanced form and you can go to the desired distribution. So if you desire to have $1,000 distribute to you, this will tell you then the amount. Let's go back and hit clear. All right. If you wanted $1,000 a month, this telling you that you would need to invest 49,000 in this particular position in order to get $1,000 a month amount invested to get 1,000 per. All right, so this is a nice feature. You also got additional shares. Having played around with that, and this website is created by Bad Financial Decisions. She created this herself, so she knows Python and C++. I used to dabble in programming, but it's been decades since I've did any programming. But she has a nice channel here. She's very creative. She has a music channel as well. I think it's bad. I can't pronounce it, but it starts with a P from I don't know what it is. But anyway, she's out there. Check her out. She's got great content. I think so. I don't get to watch all her videos, but every now and then I catch one. All right, so give her a shout out. I mean, I gave her a shout out. Go check her out, is what I'm saying. All right. And you can also make a small contribution for the hard work and labor that she does. Buy her a coffee. Buy her coffee, make a one-time or monthly contribution. It shows the leaders. I guess no one has contributed more than I have so far. So I'm still there at the top of the leaderboards because I wanted to show my support. And I let her know. I wanted to show my support because I really appreciate her doing that. It's a big help to me. All right. Some of you all know that I talk about YieldMax a lot because it was one of the first ones that produce these high yield ETFs that I know of, but a lot of other websites have come along. For instance, we have Curve ETF. So I'm showing me. Hit the refresh button. All right, there we go. So you have these Curve ETFs. Curve does a very nice job at sort of maintaining the NAV. It doesn't depreciate as much. The dividends are not as high as YieldMax, but it is above the norm payout. So if you just want to have a peace of mind and be more conservative in your investment, not be as risky as I am, Curve is a good option. Roundhill has these, ETFs. Some of them are weekly. I think most of these are probably weekly. And then they got some, some weekly pairs. I haven't really got into those. And then they got some leverage ETFs with, so. But I'm just sharing this with you. You got rec shares. You got these three here. And then they also have some leverage positions as well for those that are interested. I'm not touching it myself. All right, we got NEOS. NEOS has some ETFs. For those of you that are looking for a place to park your money, they have this treasury bill, this T-bill, and I think this is a treasury note. Anyway, this is a T-bill, treasury bond, excuse me. This is a T-bill. So this is somewhere I will start to eventually park some of my money because it doesn't really have a NAV erosion at all so far that I've seen, and it pays about 21 cents. So let's check it out. CSHI. HI. You can see here it's $49. It's only since it's been out in 2022. In the past 52 weeks, it's only fluctuated from $48 to $50. So they can give you peace of mind, and it's paying a decent dividend. We're talking about almost 21, averaging about 21 cent per share. So if you want to park your money there, as a safe place, as long as bonds are safe, then that's pretty good. Round Hill has one too called Week. It's $100, but it doesn't pay. Let's try that again. I guess it's getting a little hung up here. Sorry about that. All right, it's $100. It's fluctuate between $98 and $100. It's paying out a dividend as well. It's paying out about 8 cents per share, and it's $100. So it doesn't do as well as Neo's version. So it's up to you, but I'm just passing this information along. All right, next we got, let's see here. We got Purpose Investment. They've got various funds, top funds. They got product site. I don't know too much about them. We also got Granite Shares, which is Yield Boost. They have some ETFs. Then you check out. And of course, we got good old faithful YieldMax. Now, YieldMax just brought out a new fund. Let's see here. It's called Robinhood. So if you're interested in Robinhood ETF, let's check out theirs since we're talking about them, right? HOOD. All right, so Robinhood is at 56. You can see it's been in the 40s, came down, hit 35, 34. But YieldMax version of it for synthetic shares is Hoodie. I guess that's Hoodie. I guess that's what we got. Hui. Not sure how we're pronouncing that just yet. It's $53 right now. You can see it's gone up today. So right now it's 100% maintenance, so I can't touch it. All right. Um, Snowball analysis. Let's hit it so we can get out of here. We got to do Q&A though. All right. All right. So those that are interested, my cost basis for Coney is $79,300. Current value is at 45. So we're down 33,821. We've received 33,470 in dividends. And so our total profit, we are just shy under negative of $346. So when we get our potential pay in a few weeks, we should have profit in the positive, in the green. All right, so Misty, you can see we got $20,358 invested. Our current value is at 17, so we're down 26.91. Total dividend received is over 16,000, almost 17,000. You can see here total profit. We're actually in profit with this particular one. All right, edit. Well, we ain't when you consider the cost basis. But anyway, showing total profit here. All right, we got SMCY. We got Tesla, Alti, YBIT, AMD, and various others funds. All right, so total dividends received have us at $56,738.34. All right, we're down over 40,000 overall. So we have a cost basis of 136,000. It currently stands at 95, and we're down 40. We're showing total profit right here. That even though we're down 40,000, we received 56,000 over 56,000 in dividends. giving us a positive total profit of $15,928. All right. That is the Robinhood version of that. Same thing. Pretty much I covered it over there. All right. Here's the Charles Schwab version of that. Let me go back here. Go back here. I didn't do this. I don't think. Let's go back here. Dashboard. We didn't do this. All right. So future payments, you can see right now on the 12-month, it got us projecting at 86,000. Got us averaging 72 for the remainder of the month or currently. Anyway, it's saying that they're estimating that I will get an additional 46.88 in dividend payout. They're estimating 33.59 with Coney, almost 1,000 with PLTY, 118 for Tesla, AMD. All right. Dividend growth. Let's take these out. All right. So this is saying what we got in dividends back in 2023. Just a couple pennies. All right. 2024. We began to experiment with, I think I had Tesla at this time and maybe Coney. And then we got our hands on some money here. I think we deposited that money in August, but we didn't get paid out until September. You see, we're going up, start going up. Got up to 9,200. That's the biggest payout month that we've had so far in December, right? And then in 2025, we got 5,600, 7,300, 54. In April, we got our lowest for the year, 46. And so far, this is where we stand with the month of May. All right. All right. Now, I think we was doing that with the Charles Schwab account. All right. So here showing March. That was March of last year. Okay, March of last year, because I did have this before I transferred that account over into Robinhood. All right, so we had 2,100 there. In April, we got 22, 16, and then came 2025. Got $600, and then we got 600. Then we transferred that over into Robinhood, and then we just created this. We didn't create it. We deposited some cash, and this is where we stand now. So in month of May, it said we made $37.20 in this account. All right. All right. Now let's get to the Q&A. And after we get through the Q&A, we will be done. All right. Let's hit this video. Look like you got a lot of comments in this video. All right. So 4725 said anything on Murney. I said until the underlining Moderna gets back into the $100 price range, I don't see Murney doing anything anytime soon. Just my personal opinion, and I haven't heard anything in the news about it. School account Bop 4077. He said Misty's on fire. I said Misty bounced back this month for sure. BTC Force, he said 2 winners and a bunch of losers. Sell Misty before the BTC bear market. He's talking about the winter market for crypto. I said even in the bear market, I believe Misty will still outperform your normal paying dividends. Just gotta know how to play these ETFs. So if Misty's at, let's say, is in a range between $12 and $18 in the bear market, I still think it may pay like in the 80s or 90s and maybe $1. So that is still pretty good because a MicroStrategy is underlining. So all right. Spider Get Tote says SMCY nav erosion tore me apart. How do I compensate for the price drop? I said, for me, it's just simply collecting the dividends and buying the dip. I'm here to collect monthly income. Also, we must understand that SMCI, the underlining, is doing they had some problems, and those bad news will cause it to dip. If we believe long term is going to recover, then I use these opportunities to increase my position while lowering my costs. One good thing to do is set a stop limit order and not a limit order like I did to kick us out when the price drops below our cost average. Uh, if we like, then we buy back at the lower price. Just my thoughts. So what I was saying there, say your average cost is $20, right? Um, and it goes up to $25, right? Set your stop limit order at maybe $22.50, or maybe a dollar above your cost average, or just a nickel above your cost average to kick you out so that you don't lose any money. And that's something we have to start emphasizing when we're communicating with people, is to set stop limit orders when you get into positive. And so if it drops, it kicks you out, sells all your shares or how many shares you want to sell. You can sell half, right? And keep the half there. And if it dips below your average cost, say it dips down to 15, well, you take that half that you sold, buy back in at 15. Your average cost is now gone from $20 per share to maybe $18 a share. So when it goes back up, you'll be even in more profit. Just a strategy. He said, appreciate it. All right. Um, Music says, bias music or basis music says, could you buy could you buy 10,000 of any of these, receive a large dividend, and then sell them the next day to avoid the bad depreciation, and then buy back in 2 days later? Buy back in 2 days before the dividend. Um, Sniper Get It Tote says the appreciation happens on the EX day, so you would lose some money. Yes, and I said, um, stated, I said, Sniper stated it with the EX date. It's next. What did I say here? With the EX date, is next. It's next, so that the option isn't available. I think I was trying to say it was the EX date is the next day, so that option isn't available. The price drops the next day because the dividends are coming from the stock, so it decreases. If it was something like Walmart that pays quarterly, it would have time to recover and you could do as stated. Maurice Patterson says, what do you think about winter? I said it's an inverse of Mr. MicroStrategy, not Misty now, but MicroStrategy, or Strategies. I think they changed their name. Did they? Let's see here. MSTR. Yeah, it's called MicroStrategy Incorporation. Um, I said it's an inverse of MicroStrategy Incorporation. So all the inverses, I just stay away from them altogether for now. Nice $2.37 dividend. I had nice 237, nice $2.37 dividend. Um, I has Mr. to continue to climb. I hope Mr. will continue to climb, and winner will pay less. I could be wrong. I gotta do better. He says beside Misty and Feet and CVN and PLTY seems good as well. And I agree with you, sir. Robert Swift said, should I buy some shares of all of these? Should I buy some shares of all of these? I said, nah, you shouldn't do that. Research and find something that you believe will work best for you. That video is just for information for those that are thinking about getting into them or already have gotten a position in them. It's just to let them know how much the ETF are paying out so they don't have to go looking for it. But I should pique your interest in passive income. I should say, but it should pique your interest. All right, Curtis Washington, back again. He says, perfect. He's talking about this video. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Washington. All right, Crypto 897 says, I think I will add some Misty. I said, okay, just do your research and understand how it moves. If Bitcoin rips, she'll be a blessing for a period of time before the crypto winter comes. And so, yeah. So I'm just here. I didn't say this earlier in the video. So, yeah, I'm just here showing you what I'm doing. It's not a suggestion to buy or sell. Do your own due diligence and your own research. I am not a financial advisor. All right. That's funny says, who got 10,000 shares of Misty? Because he's talking about when I got to Misty and I had it outlined the various share count. When I got down to 10,000, I said, for those of you who have 10,000, and this gentleman here, he laughed. School account says, I got 300 on me. And I said, a hit dog. I was replying back to, that's funny. I said, a hit dog will holler. You must got 10,000 shares, laughing out loud. Let's get it your own. And then that's replying to school account. I said, you only 9,700 shares away. And I said, it's possible. He laughed. No, not me. That's funny. Says, did it do that twice? It did. It did it twice. Okay. All right. Blake, a black Packer says, I bought Misty yesterday. Will I be eligible for the dividends? That's funny said, yes. And I think even if you buy today, so this must have been on a Tuesday that he bought. And this video was, because this video was done on Wednesday. So yeah, you can buy today. Yeah, here we go. You just have to share by, you just have to have shares by the market close 4 p.m. Every Wednesday. He's correct. He's absolutely correct. Yep, what he said. Winning strike freeze pick says, where are you getting these payoff numbers? I'm showing Misty paid off is 133 on the site that I'm looking at. Thank you, Sarah. And I replied, that was last month's dividend, and that isn't listed on their site. That isn't updated with the currently released information. YieldMax dropped this information on Wednesday mornings at 5:55 Central Standard Time, 6:55 Eastern Standard Time to email subscribers or on the Twitter account about 30 minutes later. I take that information and pass it along. So what he was talking about is he went to, see here, he went here, and we're talking about Misty, right? So at the time when he checked here and he looked at the dividend payout, it was showing this here, right? And even if you had went here, it would have showed the stock analysis. It would have showed that price that he was talking about. But he had said he had went to the site, and the site, when they announce it, they don't update it immediately on the site right away. But I do get it in. You go to so you go to YieldMax and subscribe to their email list, and they'll send it to you that morning. And then I come home right after work, and I get in here and I start creating that video so I can get it out to you all as early as possible. All right. Robert says, should I buy? Did I already get that? Yep. All right. All right. My good friend Alan said YMAX has been doing well. Thank you for the update, sir. I said, always, you're welcome. Nice increase. YMAX did nice. Love Your Life said, man, that Misty increase is wow. Last month, I stated that I was hoping it picked up because I was a little disappointed. I guess I got my wish. The only inverse I have is fiat, and that's only because it's low cost. If winter drops down to 20-ish, I'll grab some and ride it back up. And I think that's a nice strategy. I believe that's a nice strategy. That's funny says, the stock market was down, but the dividend was still more than $1 per share. I say, yes, it's nice to see Misty bounce back in its normal territory. I'll enjoy it when she drops tonight. And I said to that's funny. I said that's the beauty of these high ETFs. You won't find nothing like it normal in the old dividends. That you literally have to invest invest $1 million just to get $1,000 every 3 months. What a joke. All right, so we finished with that. Let's review our week 35 comments. All right. Scout says, what are your top 5 investments? Oh, he said, what are your top 5 investments? And I'm assuming he's talking to ETF. All right. So I says, I don't have 5, but guess what? I got 7 that I'm rolling with in my Charles Swap account, as you all saw earlier in this video. Excuse me. I said it's a cash account only, and here are the following. I have PLTY, Mauro, Coney, Carvana. I'm still calling it Carvana. Misty, SMCY, and ETH from Round Hill. All right. Autopilot says, hey, brother. Again, I love the content. New question that pops into mind is, why are you not currently invested in an IRA? IRA. How are your taxes going to be looking at the end of this year? And are you consulting with a tax advisor when it comes to your current portfolio? Wishing you all the best, my friend. Best regards. I appreciate it, man. I replied, I do have a 401k, but not an IRA. I hope to get that set up once I get my Robinhood account. Well, actually, when I get the debt paid, I want to get the debt paid and then do the IRA and Robinhood because I think they match up to 3%. And I may do some other research to see if any other people are paying any significant amount. All right. Oh, I take that back. Autopilot. In my employer 401k, I do the 401k IRA version of that instead of just a regular 401k. All right. Um. Oh, so I replied, I have a 401k, but not an IRA yet. Taxes, I do know that's something that I have to address it, and I will. I have losses that can offset most of it if need be. My main concern would be the immediate debt that I currently have. And once that's resolved, taxes won't be a big of a problem. I don't mind paying taxes. Yeah, for all those of you that invest in he brings up some good points. These are definitely things that need to be considered. Dice or D Nice says, I appreciate you answering my question, bro. Anytime. Jay Wolf says, at your 251 timestamp, it shows you have a balance of $5,821 in buffer and 45,000 in your portfolio value. Excuse me. In that case, when do you get margin call? Do you get margin call if your portfolio value drops below your buffer? How do you avoid being margin call? All right, so yes, this right here, that is exactly it. If that buffer goes to zero, you get margin call. But you can see here, I stated all this. I ain't gonna read all this, but I'll just verbalize it, summarize it up. I noticed that in your Robinhood account, let's just go to my Robinhood account and let's just look, right? So in your Robinhood account, this right here, you see how green that is? It'll start when this gets below 5K, it'll go to an olive color. It'll change to a different green. It's a olive, a lighter green color. Then when it gets to 2,000, I think this cylinder is either orange or yellow. Orange or yellow. And when you're like, depending on how fast your account is dropping, when you get around say 800 to 500, I've seen my account be at like 200 or $35, and it may be red over here, right? But it ain't a margin call, but it's near margin call. Uh, and they'll have some. It'll be some red arrows indicating, okay, you would need to deposit a certain amount to get away from the near margin call. But once it goes below zero, yes, you definitely will be getting margin call, and it can recover in that same day. Say that happens at 10:30, and by 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock rolls around, and your account is back in the good, then you're good. Now, if it closes and you're in margin call, you'll have, at least in my experience, you'll have maybe another day to get it addressed. You either deposit some cash or sell off your positions. Um, and I played around with it for a few weeks, and by the third week, I was in margin call, and I wanted to test it and see what they would actually do. So what they ended up doing, I had 1,000 shares of Misty, and they sold my Misty off. Not sold all my Misty, but they sold 200 shares. I believe it was 200 shares. No, yeah, 200 shares of my Misty off, and all of my AMC. So if you don't do nothing, they will take the initiative. And it look like they're going to go with the highest. If you're on margin, they'll go with the highest ratio first. So AMC was at 100% margin, and then Misty had a 60%, I believe. So they went with the highest and start selling them off. All right. So he said, I took out a 50K loan game. Scare money don't make money. He's absolutely right. Scared money don't make money. But you do need to understand the market and investing if you're a newbie. But if you've been dealing with this a while and you understand what these dividends are doing, because I read, man, I should have put um a screenshot of this what I saw on Twitter. So a guy on Twitter took out a $75,000 loan, put it all in Misty, and he pays $300 in the interest or monthly payments. I don't know how he stretched the loan out, but it stated that he was making $9,300 a month. He said, Carlos said, dang, overrated jobber said, laughing my butt off. And I replied to Wolf, I says, laughing out loud, facts, I've done that. If you don't have any debt, it's a great move because the amount of dividends you get in return pays for the loan itself. Plus, you'll get way more money left over each month um, that you can start paying that loan and getting it down compared to the dividends. Something I was saying. For example, I said $150,000 loan can get you about 10 to 12K a month in dividends. 30,000 can get you about 2,000 a month. Depends on the ETF you get. He said, buy all Misty while it's at 23. Yeah, it looked like it's running up. And I was letting him know, yeah, man, I wished I had added to my position because at minimum, I would love to have 1,000 shares or 2,500 shares of Misty. Uh, this individual says, you have a lot to pay back. I said, yep, but then getting 6 to 12K a month in dividends make it feel a little bit better. Jay Wolf says, you dripping some of the dividends, or is it all going back towards the loan margin? And basically all of it right now is going back towards the margin right now. I wish I didn't have any margin, because then it would be like just money I could use to pay down debt. This individual, APY, says fire. I said, let's go. He said, yes, sir. All right. Let's hit some of the shorts. So we got 3 comments here. All right. This individual said, how much per month from everything? All right. I said, by my spreadsheet estimate, I'm averaging about 6,100 a month. By snowball analysis, 69. Wow. Whoa. All right. All right. This individual, Dennis, says, your Midwest brother. He says, I'm buying my YieldMax funds. No, I'm building up my YieldMax funds, couple $100 every other week. One day I will have a healthy dividend income like you. Your guidance has helped me grow my income. I am looking into PLTY, but everyone tells me not to buy it, but it keeps on paying good dividends. Thanks for the outlook on these high yield ETFs. Have a blessed day. I said, Midwest brother, it's seeing a blessing, seeing it's I've supposed to be saying it's a blessing seeing money grow uh, for others. Oh, it's a blessing seeing money. Basically, I was trying to say it's a blessing seeing other people make money. I said that's better than 1 to 10% return on normal investment. I jumped into PLTY hoping for the best. Uh, Recovery so far has been good. This individual said, another great video. Are you still adding your own capital or just using the dividends? God bless my brother. Right now, um, I'm not using any capital. I haven't deposited any money other than borrowing margin and using it. And I'm not reinvesting the dividends just yet because I'm letting it go towards the paying the margin down. Yep. And I was down to 35, but then bought this PLTY and PLTR, so it put me back up at 50. And I'm glad I got in because I begin like, man, this is legit. All right. Let's see here. I said I haven't used any cash for months other than borrowing cash to fund the account with Robinhood margin. I'm letting the dividends pay off the margin. I did use about 20K. Yep, as I stated. All right. Um, Downson White says, what YieldMax ETF would you recommend me buying? And I couldn't suggest that because I could tell you to go get one, right, and it go bad, and you'd be like, man, I shouldn't have listened to him, or man, he got me stuck. I'm in a hole. So I can't give financial advice like that. I won't recommend any because I wouldn't want you having a bad experience because I said go buy Misty or Coney. I would say start looking to YieldMax or Round Hill Rec Shares Curve, all the ETFs that might have something for you. I'm more of a on the risky side. Research these. I do comment on others who have stated to me that they have gotten in a position, and I comment on that position. I personally have jumped blindly into positions because someone said this or that about them. I don't. I didn't look for myself, and so I'm still holding on to those positions to this day, thinking I should look for myself going forward. But that's me, and I've learned from that. Um, Dirty says around December, I accidentally sold my Amazon shares while on the phone, thinking it was one of my option trades that finally went into profit. Laughing out loud, I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I did. It was basically at the top. Keep cooking, keep clocking them dividends, brother. You got me looking into it now. I said, thanks for sharing. Yes, I am still bothered that that about that accident, but I'm still learning and gathering dividends for share options. That's another way, probably faster way to make earnings if one can master it. He says, bringing, gotta ask, are you able to live off all your dividends each month just from what you have invested? I said, no, I'm not able to live off my dividends right now. Mainly the dividends are paying the margin I borrowed from Robinhood. He said, yeah, I've never traded on margin accounts, so I don't know how that works, but these dividends stock paying out every month are nice. Yes. Um, so right now, what is at 6,100? 6,100. If I didn't have any debt, that would be nice. I could, that's more than what I'm making at my employee. But you got to take in, if you wasn't employed and you was living off the dividends, you got to get health insurance. You're going to be responsible for a lot more things, or absolutely everything. So you got to make sure you have enough to cover your monthly expenses and insurance and all those things. But other than that, it's possible, and I think it's very possible to live off them. All right, Ganktown. This is an older video. He was let me know I had done something wrong there. All right, so that's all of those. Let's go to our posts. See if we got any comments out here. Look like we do. All right. Um, Dylan Basis Music says, how or why did you decide to put more in certain YMAX funds and less in others? What were the deciding factors? All right, I said, well, when I first got in, they didn't have a lot of positions to choose from. So the ones that were available were Coney, Tesla, and Misty came on later. Coney and Tesla were some of the highest paying ETFs that was paying over $1. So I went with the highest yield ones. My strategy with Coney is to get up to 10K in shares and then the price to run up to 30 and sell half or a third of it and keep repeating the process. Mike Lopez says, how much they take if you withdraw that from Misty? So I says, when you say take, are you talking about taxes or Robinhood? He said both. He said, at how much of that 1,700 is your take home? I don't think I responded to that one. Let's see. I said I can send the whole 1,700 to my bank account. So Robinhood have it. So yeah. So I wasn't holding any back for taxes. At least not now. I'm not holding any back for taxes right now. I'll deal with that bridge when I cross it. But that whole 1,700, I can instantly send it to my bank account through Robinhood, and it'll be there in like 5 seconds. Now they're gonna charge me 1.75% fee on that if I decide to do that, but it'd be there in like seconds. It'd be in your bank account instant. Now, if you don't want to pay the fee, you can go ahead and send it, and then it will take maybe 3 to 4 or 5 business days and get to your account. All right. He said, wow, nice. How could they afford to pay everyone with such a small investment into Misty? I said they do options with the calls and puts and collect the premium and pay it out to shareholders. Okay, we got Dr. Henderson. He says, are you a fan of YMAX? And I said, I have a small amount of shares, but not a big position. Um, Bryant here says, I was wondering how much I need in YMAX to make $500 a week. And I told him to go to, I said, you can find this information at YieldMax.com. And that's this website that I was telling you about. All right. So if you put 500 in here, well, if you put 500 in here, you can see it tells you what you will get paid out. So in his case, he wants to get a desired amount of $500 a week. So if he did that and put it in, let's pull up YieldMax, right, and find YieldMax. So he's going to need about $40,000 in order to get $500 a week. And that's based on the last payout, which was 16 cents. So, and the price was 13.10. So basically, you need 40,000 to get $500 a week. All right. Now I ain't gonna tell you all to do this. Well, I ain't gonna even mention that because I don't want to get people in trouble with. But man, there's so many strategies you can use. He said thanks. Yes, sir. You're welcome. All right. Next, see here. All right. Maurice Patterson again said, "Hell, I don't want to say that." He said, "Yeah, and that Misty dividend, nice, paired with Feet in Group A, PLTY in Group B, and Kavana in Group C." I said, "Yes. See you seeing what I'm saying? So yeah, if I don't goof up and make a mistake on something, it should be nice." He replied, "Glad to see my brother get that bag whenever possible." Yes, sir. All right. All right, let's check this one out. It's 8 days ago, so this is an old one. So we're good on that. All righty. I think that's everything, right? All right. So that's it. Um, this is week 36. Portfolio review of YieldMax Mindset. I appreciate you all watching the video. If you've stayed around this long, if you like it, hit that like button. If you dislike it, hit that dislike button. I thank you all. May God bless you. Oh, and look like things may be positive this week, especially if we're able to work something out with China. Then these things could really take off, and all stocks in general could just take off. But look like we're going to be positive going into Monday. But hey, let's get it while it's low, because when these things run up and they 30 and 40 and $50, and then people gonna get in then, and then it go down. They be like, oh, I got in, and my NAV erosion. Get in low, and you ain't got to worry so much about it. All right, I'm out. Y'all have a great day, great week, and I'll be posting our video for YieldMax Group A. Right? All right. Bye bye.